Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the VGA awards and what I think should win each of these categories, and overall what should just win Game of the Year. Some of these I may not know the game specifically, but I should have a decent idea what's going on. So let's get into it. So first off, we got Best Esports. I personally play a lot of League of Legends. I don't really look at a lot of esports though. I can't really tell you which is the biggest on the scene. I know from playing League of Legends, they improved the game quite a bit. I think this year, with adding a few item changes and everything like that at the beginning of the year. And next season is supposed to be crazy. As far as the esports go, I think Counter-Strike 2 has improved a lot as well. Not necessarily as the game, because most of it's the same, but I think adding the smoke grenade, basically advancements, where you can shoot through it and like each individual bullet like opens up a hole instead of the whole thing disappearing at once. Some of the maps look really cool. To me, it's a toss-up between League or Counter-Strike as to which one's better. I don't think any of these other games, especially Rocket League's been like literally the same game since 2015, maybe a few different changes here and there with card hitboxes and everything like that. It's pretty much the same game. Dota normally has the biggest cash prize pools. I don't really play Dota. I know how to play it somewhat, but I don't play it. Street Fighter 6, I don't know anything about that. And Valorant, I'm going to hold mine and refrain from that as well, but I don't think anything crazy happened with either of those games. Personally, I'm going to probably say Counter-Strike. I have the most knowledge on League, but I think Counter-Strike 2, just because of what it did with the smoke grenades and a few of the new maps, that look really cool. I don't really play the game, like I said. I just think that's what should probably get it. Best mobile game, I could not tell you at all about any of these four games. Outside of Monster Hunter now is basically Pokemon Go, but Monster Hunter. And Honkai Star, where I saw Asmongold played a bit. And it looked kind of interesting, but it also looked like a big gambling gotcha game, so I'm not super interested in that. No. Warcraft Rumble looks kind of fun, but I wouldn't even touch that. I mean, really, I kind of agree that this is probably the better one, just from watching Asmon's video. I mean, it's fun to watch him gamble. I'll say that. That's just better than playing Monster Hunter now, which is just Pokemon Go. I'd rather just play Monster Hunter. Pokemon Go works because you catch Pokemon. Killing monsters they had this Witcher one, and that one was also kind of gimmicky, so I feel like it's about the same. I'm just going to go Honkai on that. The best music, that's crazy. I didn't play Final Fantasy, to be totally honest. I don't have a PlayStation. According to a lot of people, Hi-Fi Rush has a really great soundtrack. And Zelda always has good music. I played Baldur's Gate 3, so I know what that music is, and that one's really good. Just going off of my previous experiences in Zelda, I would think this is the best. But I haven't played Final Fantasy, and that one could be really good. And Hi-Fi Rush is a legitimate just rhythm game, so that one also could have a really good soundtrack as well. You know, I'm giving this one kind of an uneducated opinion, but I'm going to say Legends of Zelda, just because that series always has great music. Since the start, essentially. Maybe not the start, but after a while it got really good music. Best Narrative. Ooh, I don't know what this game is. I'm not even going to talk about that. I have not played Spider-Man 2 either or Alan Wake. If you were to ask me what straight up I would think, I think it would be these top three would be the only options, and Final Fantasy as like a B tier, and these two is like just kind of there. I feel like Spider-Man 2 would be pretty obvious to tell what's happening in. I don't know what this game is. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't know what it is. But these three are going to be heavy hitters in this category. Baldur's Gate 3, I'm biased towards. I think that game is just a cut above the rest. It is the definitive game of this, probably one of the definitive games of this next decade, for sure. You know, you got Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out in 2 years, and that's going to be another one of the definitive games of this decade. I think, personally, if you're going to go with straight RPG elements, I think it's going to be Cyberpunk, but I just think from the first game, and this game got highly critically acclaimed as well. Alan Wake 2 probably has the best narrative as far as a straight up like game progression goes. I'm not saying that these two don't. I'm just saying that this one is like kind of a more linear game from at least the first one. I have not looked up anything on this, so don't flame me in the comments. I'm going to say Alan Wake 2, though, for best narrative. Best art direction. I'm going to say Baldur's Gate 3. Awesome, amazing game on everything. I think the art is very good. I just think that it's I don't know. I feel like it kind of gets a little bit samey after a while, but that's just... I think it's an amazing game, though. Like I said, it's a cut above the rest, regardless. Resident Evil 4, I saw videos on this. I mean, it's Resident Evil 4. It's just a really updated version. Alan Wake 2, I'm not really a huge fan of the first one's art, its direction, and I didn't look too much in this one. Hogwarts, I did play. It's an okay game, really. I don't like that game a whole lot. Final Fantasy, I don't know. Liza P is going to be the one for me, too. I was watching Asmon's Gold. I think Liza P looks really neat. And for being not really a AAA game, but maybe not an indie game, maybe it is an indie game. If it's an indie game, it did really well from everything I've seen. And people call it a Bloodborne clone, but it's more so like a Pinocchio fantasy world, and it's very unique how they did that. I think Liza P deserves the best art direction. The best speedrunning game, I couldn't tell you. I had a lot of fun watching Only Up, though. I'm going to put Only Up because I thought that was just fun watching people earlier this year. It might be a dead game now, but that was fun. People are seeing... You got to see this game unfold with their speedrunning strats. That's different than all these games. You know, these games have already been established. Their speedrun strats are pretty much the same, and they do them over and over again to get faster times of maybe like cutting 30 seconds, cutting 2 minutes. Only Up, you saw it from the start. People were getting like barely beating it to making it down to like 5-minute speedruns. And it happened within like a month. So that was really cool to see that happen. Most addictive game, I mean, this is a gambling simulator, if I'm not mistaken, from everything I've seen. I don't really know much about World of Warcraft. I've never played this game. I know it's addictive though, that's for sure. A lot of people play it. Dark and Darker I can knock it into. I just hate dying and losing all my stuff and not being good at the game to get it back. Hollow Cure, don't know what that is. This is, outside of this game, which is just quite literally like gambling, you got a League and you got Baldur's Gate. I put in 200 hours, 170 hours. It was like 164 hours exactly into Baldur's Gate 3 so far. I put that in like a week and a half time frame or something like that, or 2 weeks. Extremely addictive when you first play this. League over time is also extremely addictive. I think it was close in about 1,000 hours in the League, and I still suck. So we're looking at an overtime extremely addictive game, and we're looking at a gambling simulator, and we also got Baldur's Gate 3, which is just a solid, really addictive when you first play. But once you beat it, though, it's kind of done. So I think that's kind of out of the race. I'm going to go League of Legends. That game's just over time. It's just one of the most addictive games. Best community. Ooh. This game had a lot of issues. I'll say that. I know a little bit about this game's history. It had a lot of issues. And then people still come back and play it. So that is very, that's saying something. People come back to your game after your game has a lot of issues. You did something good. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy XIV outside of a few people that play it. Like I said, don't know much. I definitely don't know anything about Warframe. I thought, if anything, I'll say this about Warframe. The fact this game is even on this list is impressive, because this is a free-to-play game, and I think one of the first of its kind free-to-play game on like the consoles. Because this game was out really soon after like the PS4 drop. I played it back then and I did not like it, so I stopped. But man, seeing this on here, there's telling me something this game actually is pretty solid on as far as the community goes. I was actually involved a little bit in the Baldur's Gate 3 community. There's actually a thing in here. Here it is. The Baldur's Gate bear sex scene. I actually know, or not know, but I do watch one of the people who was on the panel here. So I know, not really know, like I said, but I'm in their stream a lot. Her name's Lowdy. If you want to go watch her on Twitch or YouTube, she's super good at Baldur's Gate. But yet, the community is really good on Baldur's Gate. I'm gonna put that down from personal preference because this is my list. Game of the year, Baldur's Gate, and I think it's so hard to compete with games like this because of how just detail orientated, how much for an RPG this is a cut above the rest. It's honestly a steal. This game is only $60 to $70, and you can't say that about much of these games when they're like you feel like you get your money's worth at $70 or whatever they're at. But when you can say that a game is a little bit more than $70, that's saying something. I have not played Armored Core. I'm interested in playing it though. I'll probably play it at some point. If Final Fantasy drops on PC, I'll play that. I really don't want to play Spider-Man. I played enough Spider-Man playing the first one. I did see some of the new combats and it looked really neat, but it's so much of the same one from 2019-ish, 2018 that it's just not worth for me to go back and play it. Alan Wake 2 I'm interested in, and Zelda kind of suffers from the Spider-Man 2 syndrome where it's just a lot of the same thing, just really improved. Baldur's Gate 3 had Divinity 2 to come from, and it smashed the shit out of it. Like, I don't know what else to explain that. Divinity 2 is also a fantastic RPG, and Baldur's Gate 3 just, like, put that thing on the table and just literally took a dump on it. It is so good. I'm not just saying that. It is, like, one of the best games of this, like, decade, for sure. Games that changed games. I don't want to double take on Baldur's Gate 3, but that game really did advance, I feel, the whole RPG genre. I mean, everyone's going to say it is a new gold standard. This game looked really neat for like a mech shooter. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, these two I'm not for sure on. This one's just mainly a gambling simulator. It's a gacha game. BattleBit Remastered really, I think, changed the scope of what a game can be to be good, which is kind of hard to explain. But you have a game that is a Roblox-like game that hopped off. I don't know where it came from. It looks like a Roblox game. They made their own game, and it just outsold Battlefield 2052, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you're outselling a AAA title. I mean, granted, Battlefield 2052 is like one of the worst Battlefields, if not the worst, but you're still outselling. You're like a huge competitor to what you are. That's something to say. I think this game really does show that shooters don't need to have insane graphics to be fun, which I think is a really cool thing. Dark and Darker, I don't want to say it's Tarkov because I think that's too cliche, but there's nothing really special here that Tarkov didn't do, in my opinion. They just took the different environment with the fantasy from what I played and then just putting you in kind of small arenas or like small maps with people in it. So I can't really say that game improved anything that would be game breaking. If you're asking me, it's between this game and these two. Like I said, this game looks really cool. If I knew more about it from the trailers and watching people play, I'd probably say this game did, because I think this game looked very neat with how you shoot the mechs and stuff like that. And you have all these different kits you can build to beat mechs, and the mech bosses are hard, but you can do different kits with your mech to beat them, which is very interesting. So it's kind of a game of cards with mechs and just being good at the game. Which is this is the most well-received mech game I've ever seen in my life. And that's saying something, because mech games generally come out probably once or twice a year, and they just suck. And this is like the only good one I've seen in the past, like, 10 years. So that is saying something about these games. I'm going to give it to BattleBit, though. I think that is very cool how they took a very simplistic character models with simplistic environments. They made it fun, and they made it cheap. And that's all you need. I think that's just fun. Seeing a very small indie title become better than a AAA title in sales just because the game's more fun. Okay? That's really what it is. Alright, next up we got Gaming Moment of the Year. Faker winning Worlds. That's cool. I don't know what that is. Angry Bird wins at EVO. Oh, that's a dude. On a fighting tournament. Okay. Foreseen beating record. Oh, on the Minecraft. That's pretty neat. Yeah, it's this one. 100%. I'm not even. I literally watched. I said Luality. I watched her like literally like on the stream, like reacted to that. Like to me, that is like kind of like personal stuff, and it's also funny. I thought this was a really funny. It took everybody by surprise. Let's put it that way. Most anticipated game. It is 100% Grand Theft Auto. You can't even argue against that. But if you were to take away Grand Theft Auto, I'm interested in what this Dragon's Dogma 2. This game looks really cool. I like fantasy games. The first one was pretty solid from what I understand, and I really want to play this game. It's like $5 on Steam right now. I'll probably just pick it up and play it. But I'm interested in this game a lot. It looked really cool from the trailer so far. I also want to play this game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. First one was awesome. And the second part of Final Fantasy VII Original goes crazy. So yeah, I want to play this. I don't really... Hades 2, sure. Squadron 42, I haven't looked that much on, but it looks like a cool space game. Hollow Knight is a really fun, but I'm not really interested in the second one. So yeah. But Grand Theft Auto, once this clears it by all margins, and then Dragon's Dogma is like close second. Relatively close second. And then Final Fantasy is like right behind it for me. And all these other games I'm not super interested in, except maybe this game with more stuff shown on it. Streaming game of the year, I'm going to have to go to... These games? No. Not for me. Only Up or Lethal Company is probably the only two I would go with. Only Up, like I said, is an awesome... I watch this game a lot with Moist Critical and just people in general to see how this game progressed and how fast people could clear it. I mean, I even watched it enough to know that they took out the anime character and replaced it with something else because of copyright infringements. And normally I don't keep up with stuff that much. Lethal Company was also really funny. It is fun to play, 100%. This game is really fun to play, and there's going to be a lot of clones of this within the next year or so. Solid games, both of these. I think for streaming especially. Grand Theft Auto, I'll mention this real quick. Grand Theft Auto, you can't discount this because this game is just a staple on streaming. And Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be the biggest game ever when that game comes out. It will topple pretty much all records, I feel like, for streaming. Everybody's going to be playing GTA 6. And there's going to be a freaking blossoming of new upcoming talents on YouTube making Grand Theft Auto 6 videos. It will be one of the biggest launches ever, period. But until that point, we're talking about these two. So we got, for me personally, I think it's Only Up, just because this game's really new. But I also have a lot of funny clips of that. I'm gonna say Only Up. I think Lethal Company's another one on this list that I'll probably give something to, because I think it's really fun. I think it's also a very good indie game. Alright, Jinxie is my favorite content creator this year. This dude's crazy though. This guy has done some wild stuff for a streamer. And I will agree that Aspen Gold, because like I said, I basically came here from that video that he made recently. Kai has done a lot of things that most streamers haven't done, and he puts, in my opinion, entertainment forward. This dude, pretty much burnt down his house and had people wreck his house just for the sake of the stream. That's crazy. XQZ and all these other guys, I mean, they're streamers, good, solid people. Jinxie, the only reason I give it to him is he took, in my opinion, a dying, limping game, being Siege, and put that back on the spotlight and made a lot of people come back to it. I mean, this guy single-handedly resurrected a game that, again, is supposed to fail, but Siege always comes back. And it came back strong this year with Jinxie, and his content is hilarious. To me, he's the best in this year, for sure. No doubt. I think he's just funny. So, best indie action game. I liked Halls of Torment a lot. I didn't play this game. It was $5. I just didn't buy it because it looked very basic, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I just didn't feel like it was a great buy, in my opinion. Even for $5, it seemed like very much I'm not going to talk much about it. No hate on the person at all. It sold a lot. It just didn't seem like, even for $5, a game that should be on there for $5. It reminded me of a dollar game on the dollar store on a Xbox 360, and I'm not hating, like I said. I'm just saying that's what it reminded me of. Blasphemous 2 looked very neat. I didn't play this, but that game always interests me to play this. The art style looked crazy on Blasphemous with a pixel art. Holocure, again, I'm not for sure on. I don't even know what that is. Halls of Torment or BattleBit Remastered is what I'm going to go with here, because I don't know much about Last Epoch either. Apparently it's pretty good, so I have to go check that out. But it's BattleBit or Halls of Torment. I'm going to give it to Halls of Torment. This game was really fun to play. It reminded me a lot of Vampire Survivors. It's also one of my favorite games to play. I played that this year, so if I was making like my Game of the Year list for this year only, Vampire Survivors is more fun than this game in my opinion. But Halls of Torment is very good. I'll say that it's a roguelike that is close to Vampire Survivors in my opinion, but takes more of the grittier dark fantasy approach. And the way how the game progresses is a little bit different. So you don't get all these flashy things. You kind of have to like go through it, increase all your stats. It's fun though. I like it. Best indie adventure. I did play Dredge. I want to play this game. Obviously, I played this game. It's weird they put this here, but it's just weird they put this here. They should have put something else here. Sons of the Forest. I mean, that's a game, right? I don't think... The thing is, the first one was really good. It was got a huge traction online. This game dropped and it died. I cannot imagine this game being better than the first one. Okay, I'm not... Anyone who likes this game, sure. But to me, it just kind of like fell on its face. Okay? Lethal Company or Dredge is where I'm going to go with here. I think Lethal Company clears Dredge. I think Dredge is a fun game, but it's slow, so no one's going to watch streaming it. And it's also slow, and it's going to be one of those games you have to be like in a mental state to play it, because it's not really a super action-y game. It's more so of a slow burn with like a few stressful moments, which for most people is kind of a turn-off. Now, if I played Sea of Stars, there would be more of competition between these two, because this game looked really cool. It reminded me a lot of some older games, or little older RPGs, and looked very fun. And like I said, I am very interested in playing that game for sure. Baldur's Gate 3 is not an indie game. It might be an indie-sized studio, but it is not an indie game. That is very strange to put that there, like I said. Best indie roguelike. Darkest Dungeon 2 looked crazy. That is also a very weird picture to have. For how dark and gritty this game is, that's a very strange picture to pick. Let's put it that way. Backpack Hero. I played this. Is this the... No, Backpack Battles is the one I played. My bad. That one's really fun. I hope that game releases. Backpack Battles is not... Okay, it's not a roguelike, though. I take it back. Completely take that back. So, Wallworld, Backpack Hero, Darkest Dungeon 2, Domekeeper. I have not played any of these outside of this. Oh, I watch people play this. This one actually looks very good. I watched Loudy play it pretty much all the way through multiple times. If I'm going to give it, to be totally honest here, these two play very differently. Even though they're in the same category, they play really differently. This is almost like a very Slay the Spire-esque turn-based, like very in-depth turn-based game. Halls of Torment is a true roguelike in my opinion, where you just go through again and again and again and again, and then eventually get strong enough to beat the game. Darkest Dungeon 2 has a lot of stuff going on with it that I think is very neat. I have not played or even really heard of these three. Or that one. I'm going to say Darkest Dungeon 2. I think that one's pretty, from everything I've seen, that is a solid game. And I already gave Best Indie Game to that. So, and I think it just, yeah, Darkest Dungeon 2 seems right there. Best Indie RPG. Shoot, I'm going to have to give it to this game. That game looked really fun. And a lot of people like it. It looked, yeah. Dredge is not good in comparison to other indie RPGs. And I'm not even hating on Dredge. Totally, I don't even think that's an RPG. It might be an RPG because you talk to people when you level up through quests and stuff. I guess that's the category it goes into, but it just did not feel like a RPG, in my opinion. where you level up your characters and stuff like that. This game looked very solid. I have not heard of any of these except the last Epoch, barely. Alright, indie shooter. This is clear as it. BattleBit remastered. This looks kind of funny. Zortek, I wouldn't mind playing any of these other ones. It's just this one looks very good. Friend of Friends. This game's also good. I take it back. I have watched my friend play this game. I didn't play it, but I watched him play it. This is a unique game that reminded me of this game that I got into like a pre-alpha in, but it was made by 2K. I totally forget the name, but it had a very similar concept. You had cards, and each card would like benefit you, and then you would go into this arena and you would fight your friend with your certain card buildups. Project 1v1 is what it's called if you want to look it up. It's a pre-alpha that never came out, and this game is like a fully executed version of that. If I'm taking this and not putting BattleBit Remastered on here as like a double up, Friends vs. Friends is winning this. But I think overall, if I was to double up, I'd still go BattleBit. But this game is really cool though. I think how they did it is really, really cool. I'm gonna give it to this one just because I already gave it to BattleBit, but Friends of Friends is a very solid game, and not many of these games come out because they're not really lucrative. But this game is just really neat. I like how they do this. I like the whole co-op aspect. Now I'm gonna, here it is. Back. Oh shoot. This game's good. This game is so good. I act like it's as good as Baldur's Gate. It's not that good, but like for what it is, this game is fun as hell. Like it is inventory management, like you're playing like Tarkov, I guess. That's why my friend got into it because he plays a lot of Tarkov. It has like the inventory management of that. And then you get like upgrades and stuff. It is a very unique way of making a strategy game. For the King 1 is really fun. I didn't play For the King 2. Apparently it's a little bit worse than the first one somehow. They added like another, so I worked in the first one, you had your line, you got 3 people. On the second one you get 3 people and another row behind it. So there's like more strategy involved. Or maybe you can fill up, I don't know how it works. I just know there's 6 rows. There's 2 rows, put it that way. We'll simplify it to 2 rows. And how you determine the fights is going within those 2 rows. I don't know. It didn't hit anywhere near as hard. Backpack Battles, solid game. 100%. And this is an early access. That concept is so good. Best indie game of the year. This was on Donkey's video. That game looked funny. Shoot. Okay. If I'm being totally honest here, you got BattleBit and you got Sea of Stars. These 2 are very good games. Personally, from my personal taste, I'm going to go with Sea of Stars because I like RPGs more than shooters. That's just how it goes. And I need to play this game. It's apparently very good. So, Sea of Stars is on my list to play. Best action game. From everything I've seen, dude, Armored Core takes this. Just a ton of action. There's nothing but action in that game. I don't even think there's barely any. There's a story in that game from what I've seen. It's very like kind of streamlined, and everything else is just nuts to bust, just blasting and burning people. Man, that game looks crazy. I'm surprised I haven't even played that because I like games like that. So yeah, I'm putting that there. Best adventure game. Dude, Dave the Diver. I'm surprised they didn't put that in the freaking indie game of the year. Dave the Diver should replace like this game, HoloCure. Dave the Diver is solid. It's just not as good as like putting this on this is like kind of an embarrassment of Dave the Diver. It's almost like throwing him in there as like a concession prize. It's not even dude, it's a solid game. And that's why I say it should be up there, because this is kind of doing it a disservice by putting it up here with these. It can maybe rival like Jedi's, but yeah, we're going with Baldur's Gate. It just is what it is. The adventure in that game, that is why that game's addicting. It's because it has so much stuff going for it. The best RPG, I'm saying I don't want to double up as much, but it just is what it is, man. Baldur's Gate 3 is just so good. It's a genre-defining game, and there's no shot I can't just give it its own. It has to win this. It has to. It defined the genre, in my opinion. Best adventure, like I said, it's not even like Legend of Zelda. By all means, is more like a direct adventure game than Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 just executes so well in its RPG elements. It's more impactful than Legend of Zelda's adventure, in my opinion. It is so good. Best shooter of the year. Fortnite, Siege, Apex, Valorant, Counter-Strike 2. Ooh. This is a really weird one. You can go at this in many angles. Like, you can say, like, which one improved the game the most, which one improved the shooting the most, which one's, like, the most fun overall to play. I'm still going to have to give it a BattleBit. I think for the price it was at, for how many people played it, for being basically a revolutionary game to show that games don't need to have AAA titles, budgets to be good. Like, the fact that this game is on here comparatively to all these games, pretty crazy. Aside from original Fortnite is about on par BattleBit as far as, like, quality goes. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. Like I said, it's impressive they did that. But modern Fortnite is really not what it was originally. Now, if you're going with how many times it's been updated and supported, definitely Fortnite. 100% Fortnite. But I'm going to go with just BattleBit because that's, like, really cool to me that they're an indie company and, like, just straight up just really good. I know how Fire Emblem's play, so I don't even need to play this game. I feel like to really understand what's going on here, and I don't want to be like, ooh, I don't need to play it because I already know how it works. No, it's one of these things where, like, I played Awakening and I played Three Houses, and between those two, not much changed, and I cannot imagine this being much different. So I already know how, like, Fire Emblem games play, and they're solid. Advance Wars, I actually had the one on the DS, and that one's really solid. Pikmin 4 is a very unique strategy game. Pikmin in general is unique. And that game is really fun. I have not played one in a very long time. It's just hard to get me to spend $60 on a straight up strategy game like Pikmin. It really is. I like Advance Wars on the DS a lot. I'm going to give that to that just because I like Advance Wars. Simple as that. And I think Baldur's Gate 3 has such good RPG elements, it could easily snub this category as well, 100%. It is quite literally, the strategy you can ensue in Baldur's Gate 3 is so deep, it is ridiculous. And I've only seen this executed by a few people, but one of them is Luality, and she plays the games on the hardest modes, and I can't even, like, fathom what's happening half the time. It is crazy how in-depth this game can get if you really, really look into it a lot. So, I mean, yeah, that's it. This video, I'd be surprised if someone watches more than 3 minutes of it. But that is my, like, list for this year. I think I did a pretty good job of ranking these. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will be back on to the Risk of Rain content shortly. And everyone, have a good day.